We do this specifically on Tuesdays so that we can go through what people want to see. We don't do this on YouTube anymore. We used to, but then YouTube turned into, "Hey Keith, tell me what to buy," and that's not cool with me. Never has been, never will be. And because YouTube turned into that, well, I just stopped doing it. And because of that, our YouTube channel suffered pretty hard. I think, we really don't get over a couple hundred views on anything we do anymore. And with 10,000 people subscribed to a YouTube channel, you think you get at least 10%, 1,000. Nah, we don't even get that, which is wild. It's mostly just XRP people who are still watching because they know they're being lied to, but they want to believe the lie. That's what leads me into the first thing I want to say. It's interesting how hard people want to be lied to. And I'll tie this in with what's been going on in the news recently with politics. I watched probably 2 hours of the DNC. The first 2 hours plus after I turned it off was appealing to people's emotions. It had nothing to do with anything that would help anyone necessarily. It was just an appeal to emotions. And I got to tell you, it was pretty good. The appeal that they made to women, especially women of color, was a direct 100% target shot at them to get them to emotionally commit, which was crazy. It's incredible the strategy that goes behind that. And as you get a little older, like I've gotten older, I've started to see that there's objective and subjective. And I talk about this a lot, and this is where it flows into charts here. It's my opinion that I'm going to make $14 billion. That's a subjective opinion. It's objective fact that I will make more money than I have now, but I may not make $14 billion. I may make $1 million, objectively speaking. Even that's a little subjective. I may make 10x. How about that? That's pretty objective for a bull run, right? That's the difference between subjective and objective, okay? Subjective is a feeling. Objective is a fact. So let's stick to some facts here, okay? A lot of charts are sitting on support. A lot of charts look bad at first glance, right? And as you dig in a little bit, you go, well, if I was going to take a chance, I want to take a chance low, not high. A lot of charts have gifted you low prices here. So when we've been gifted low prices, you should probably take advantage of that if you can. All right? Remove the emotions and see it for what it is. It's not easy. Constant prey on your emotions is what will happen for the next year and a half. Constant prey on your emotions. You must turn them off. You must turn them off. If you do not turn off your emotions, it will cost you money later. You may win in the interim, in the short term, but in the long term, you will get blistered if you just listen to your emotions. Remove those emotions, see the objective facts for what they are, good or bad, and you'll do better. You've got to be able to take the bad with the good. That takes time to learn. The worst part is getting over your emotions. And I know it's not easy, but you can do it. You can do it. I hate the term gaslighting, by the way. Whatever happened to saying stuff like bullshitting. They're just bullshitting you, right? It hurts to hear that. I know, because it's like a right line, yeah. It hurts to hear the word like you're being bullshitted because you don't want to believe that you are. You believe that you're smarter than that. But we all get bullshitted. So let's own that and fix it. So I'm going to go over what you guys have requested. Cami says, what indicators do you have on the screen right now? This is quite simple. I'll remove these fibs because I was just looking at them. But this is the 821 EMA and the 50, 100, 200. It's almost on every single chart that you'll ever see me use ever. Why? It's very easy to use. It's simple. Rolling support and rolling resistance. That's what moving averages act as. Rolling support and rolling resistance. When we are under them, they are resistance. When we are over them, they are support. It's very simple. Obviously, the 821 EMA strategy applies, especially in a bull run. If we were in a bear market, I wouldn't be applying it. If we're in a bull market, I am. Another very simple, easy, quick snap of a finger filter. Are we over the 50-day moving average or under it? We are under it. So until we are over it, we are not, quote unquote, bullish. I'm more bullish than I am bearish, but I am not full on bullish until I see it get over the 50-day moving average. And you can even throw in the 200 because that's the big boy. Once you're over that, well, everything's bullish. But we're not over that, are we? No, we're not. So this is what you'll see on every single chart that I use almost ever. 1221 EMA, no point in doing that. 821 works just as good. It's I've explained it a bunch of times. 821 EMA works a little bit better in my opinion than the 12. Then you'll see someone argue that it shouldn't be the EMA, it should be the MA, and you should do 820, or you should do the 8MA 21 EMA. Nah, you're arguing about literal hairlines there. It's not that important. That's why I've stuck with the 821 over the years, because it's failed me not more often. And because of that, I like to use things that I know work. So I'll have these basic indicators on the screen the whole time. Here's the MACD and the RSI. Those are just kind of quick yes or no's. They just help me make a decision. I never use them strictly and solely alone. Also, by the way, everyone, in case you haven't remembered, I'll copy it right now and paste it right here. I just pasted the Assassin's Watch List counter. Obviously, the Assassin's Watch List counter gives us a count on what is long and what is short. More longs than shorts, good. More shorts than longs, bad. Obviously, it gives you the count from the day before, so you can see whether it has improved or gotten worse. All right, that's up to you to use. I look at that every single day when I come in here first thing in the morning to see what is better and what is worse. It updates every day at closing and opening. All right, Ray runs that on his Raspberry Pi at the house for free for everyone who's a member. I use it every single day. You're wasting yourself if you're not using it. It's a very quick, easy, simple filter. All right, so let's get into what you guys asked for. First one was block. I had AVAX pulled up, but that was just because that's what I was looking at. But boy, this one looks like the inside of a bull's ass. I'm glad I got out of this one. Oversold on the weekly. Oversold incredibly on the daily. And if I'm not mistaken, I was told this has Ponzi written all over it, and it kind of looks like it to me. That's why once I bought it and found out, I got rid of it once I found out that it may be a Ponzi. So I kind of backed out and was like, nope, don't want anything to do with that one. If there's proof that it's not, that's great. Someone can try to send that to me and I can attempt to look through it for a couple minutes. I don't read white papers. Don't waste your time with that. But this one currently, while it is super oversold and there may be gains in it, this thing looks like a fallen knife to me, so I don't want to touch it again. Injective. All right, Injective, INJ. So she's had a pretty aggressive pullback, kind of stuck in the mud here, under the pivots. It's under the 8 and 21 and the 50, 100, 200. It's got some more improving to do here. Did this hit a 1618 downward or a 1414 downward? Maybe here. Oh, it did a 1414. Yep. See that right there? It did a 1.414 retracement, which is a big, deep retracement. It could have did a 1618, but it didn't. Let's see if it did it in linear mode. Flip it to linear. No, 1272 in linear. But again, it started to run into the numbers of the fibs, so it's likely it's already ready to reverse. Still kind of consolidating sideways, stuck under the 8, 21, and 50. So if you're buying it, you're taking a chance on it. Don't get me wrong, because you don't have any confirmations yet. You know what I mean? You don't have any proof. I do like that it bounced off of oversold. That's good. I do like the MACD crossed up, but it has not crossed the midline. So on that one, some more improvement needed, but it's improving. I just don't think it's quite there yet. Someone's asked me about regular Velo. I think that's the one they're talking about. Mostly because of all the hype it's getting right now, because Uphold, whom I'm not even sure people use anymore, listed it. It's one of the worst exchanges possible. I don't really care about any hype that comes from Uphold at all. I don't use Uphold. I used to have it, but I don't use it. It bounced the 50 fib and rolled over, and it's kind of fighting the 382 right now, so a bit tough. Yeah, it's sitting on the 200 moving average too. I mean, I don't hate it, but I want some proof here. I'd like it to get over the 100 and prove it. I like that it's sitting on the 200. That's good, but it really broke it aggressively and now started to roll back, which makes me think it's going to consolidate out here a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it stays up above the 821 and the 200 here. is stuck in the cloud also. So there you go. How about this? Once it breaks out of the cloud over here, that would be a good sign for me and be like, hey, you've broken out of the cloud. You're showing me some progress here. It hasn't done that yet. So I'm a little worried that it may retrace from here. Not in a terrible spot, but I want some confirmation. Better than most, though, I'll say that. Render. All right, render still consolidating and stuck under the cloud hardcore. Under the 821, 5100, and 200. Under S2, man, this thing got smoked. But it did have a really, really aggressive run up. It did go oversold and then pop back up. That's good. It's kind of sitting on support right now. So there may be a little bit more down left in this, but not much. Because I think it may bounce off of support here and make something happen. It's threatening to improve, but it's still under the trend line, and there's really no confirmations here. So I'd have to wait on this one now. So a little bit more confirmation. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can try to buy the absolute bottoms on these. I'm just leery of trying to buy perfect bottoms, man. I don't know if that's necessary. You know what I mean? Trying to buy the perfect bottoms can get super dicey. What's up, Ariana? How are you doing? Is bull run over today? Sure. Bull run's over. Bull run's over. Go buy stocks. Don't do that. Do what you want, not what I say. CRV. Man. This sorry bitch right here. I want to say it does have some improvement here in the last few days, and it did jump over the 50-day moving average. That's good. It's stuck under the 100. So for what it's worth, it is improving here, and it looks better than a lot of them. I like the hammer candle, but be leery of this damn thing, man. I walked away from this one, and I'm not going back because this bitch let me down so bad. And I said, hey, you know what? There's other assets for me to buy. I'm leery that it just goes up here and hits resistance and falls again. You know what I mean? So for that reason, I'm not going to bother. There's a shit ton of resistance right here. Even if it does move up some, it worries me that it'll never get back over that. And of course it could, but I'd just rather not. OXO. Of course, this is a shitter. If y'all guys want me to look up shitters, and I have to pull it up on a DEX, I need you guys to let me know ahead of time so I can have it pulled up, because there are 5,000 bullshit coins, and there's so many copies of bullshitters that I can't check them all beforehand. And I'd like to have the chart pulled up before I get started so that it doesn't have this big gap where I'm trying to find it on Deck Screener and then it's not the right one, and then oh, it is the right one, but you didn't look at the right pair, and I was like, it gets frustrating when you're looking at a DEX. Anyway. Short term here, it did break trend. This is only $181,000 market cap with $20,000 of liquidity. It's got a ton of security issues, a 20% sale tax. The fuck? And it was whitelisted, bro. This is likely a scam. But for what it's worth, it did break trend. Can't deny that. I hate these stupid fibs on fucking Deck Screener, dude. Log scale. So it is at the 382 almost. I don't have any moving averages to pull up. I can't deny that it broke trend, and I can't deny that it's been pretty aggressive here, but it is running into the meter resistance. So let's see it get over the 382 fib, which would give me a little bit more confirmation, but that's a little dicey in my opinion, man. Be careful with this shit on DEXs, dude, because I don't want to see y'all get fucked over. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that. All right. I know, right? What's up, Decon? Good to see you, brother. Diego. I'm not going to sing it, dude. I'm not going to sing it. I want to, but I'm not going to. All right. On to GLQ. GLQ GraphLink. That's a cool name. All right. So got an uptrend, still stuck right here on the weekly under the 50. I don't like that necessarily. So this needs to break the 50-day for me to prove it, because it's also going to be the 50 weekly, and it hasn't quite done that yet. So that gives me a little bit of pause here because that weekly's stuck as well. Once it gets over the 50, I'd have a little bit more faith in this. Got a little bit of a cap on the ceiling right here at about 8 cents or 9 cents. Needs some more improvement, but it's getting there. It's in the wait a minute zone right now. So I would, if it was me, I would wait a minute. Track. Okay, this is on, the Origin Trail. I haven't seen this one in forever. Forgot about this heifer. All right. So, still under the 8, 21, 50, 100, 200, and looks like it might be trying to fail support. But it does have weekly 100 moving average right here. So, about down to 048. If it gets down to 048, 047 and a half, that might be worth trying to grab if you want to make a risky buy. Because there's support there, but the indicators look really bad on this one, and it keeps rolling over like it wants to fail more, so I would be careful. AIOZ. All right. AIOZ just had a tits cross, and it did not come up and respect it, so that tells me that this downtrend will fail and eventually break. It did not come up and check this and roll over. It stayed flat. When you have a tits cross with no price action here, that tells me that this move, which is down at the moment, will fail. We just need to wait on it. So you're not over the 8, you're not over the 21, you're not over the 50 yet. I need some more confirmation here, but once I get confirmation, it would be good for me. I think it'll go when it does get a little bit of a break there. That failed tits move tells you what you need to know. Props. Props is under every moving average. It did respect the tits move. You see that candle it threw up right there? So I respect this one, still respected. I have to pay it respect in that aspect that it may continue to go sideways here and down based on the fact that it already checked that line and didn't break it. All right. Didn't invalidate it. It just validated it. Needs to improve. I want to see this one get over all the moving averages here, which are all balled up next to each other. It may do it. Look how tight the bands are getting. So it's boiling. It's trying. It's thinking about it. Okay. Not yet, though. 3-0, which is playable. All right. So here's the playable chart. She's down big from the high. 88% from the high. How about that? All right. So trying to break the 50-day moving average now. Be careful. It's done this before. And then let us down. So once this actually gets over the hump here and breaks the 50 and the 100, I need double proof on this one, then I'd be okay with it. I believe you can still buy nodes for this, but I think they're Ponzi too, so be careful. Understand what you're buying before you buy it. And that's why I want extra confirmation. We can go into a big long spiel about why I think it's that, but I'll say this. I've been there, done that. We made an entire list in the Discord in the hashtag Rugs Scams Ponzi section, which is here, and found hundreds of scams, Ponzi's, and rugs, all based on the same thing with a pretty easy, simple formula how to find them, okay? Check their IP addresses, check the wallet addresses, check who's shilling it on the internet, go through the white paper, real quick, fast breeze through it. How do the tokenomics work? Is it literally just a copy and paste on the code? If it is, what are you doing? It's very simple and easy to do. It takes less than 5 minutes. And if it takes less than 5 minutes for me to know whether or not you're a scam, then you're a scam. So 821 here on GHX, not quite. You got a 50, 100, 200 all in the way. Even if it does advance, I need to see more improvement on this one. I do like that it's sitting on support, but I need some prove-its here. And I ain't got them yet. MPL, Maple. All right, Coinbase. Still stuck under every moving average right here. See that? I like that they're all flat. See that? They're all flattening out and getting tight. It will make a move here. It just hasn't done it yet. What do I mean by it will make a move? It's going to go. It will jump over those moving averages on the daily eventually. It just hasn't yet. And until it gets over there, it's more risky than it should be. Once it gets up here, it's way less risky, right? Just not there yet. It's really close. And yes, if you bought now and it jumped over, would you have bought the bottom? Yes. But the difference between here and here, is that worth the risk? For me, no. For you, maybe. Yeah. But I don't want to take that risk. That's a little bit too much risk for me. Aave. All right. Aave shown strength of recent after having a really shitty time so far. If you look here, here's the amount of moves Ave's made overall. It really sucked high and tit from October until now, but has recently started making moves, and I cannot deny that. So it's sitting at about a 382 fib right now, kind of smacking its head on the same level that it has before. The 200 moving average is up at 152, so I do think it eventually gets there to that. Thing is, right now, it's almost overbought, hitting a fib line. I think it probably slows down a little bit right here, but I don't know how much. So if I think it's going to go to 150 something and we're at 124, I wouldn't worry too much about whether a couple percent back or forth moved or changed anything. That would be the more optimistic outlook for me, is to look a little longer. You do have a tits cross coming in right here. See that? 50 and 200 is fixing to cross upward. You should get a tits move back and then another move up if it's legit. Okay, a golden cross is incoming there. Just hasn't happened quite yet. It's close. Pepe. All right, Pepe. Pepe stuck under every moving average. I need to see vast improvement here. You're probably going to get a death cross where the 50 travels down to the 200. It hasn't happened yet, but it's likely. So this one's a no. Andy. Do you see how fast I can go with this? It's very simple, folks. You don't have to overthink this stuff. I don't need to sit here and have a damn dissertation on technical analysis to understand when something looks good or bad. Andy, stuck under every moving average. Not only that, but it looks like it's trying to bounce support right here on the 786 area. I like it when it goes down there and does 786 retraces. I like trying to buy those. Those make me happy, but it's risky. Up to you on how much risk you want to take. From me, I want confirmation here first, and it doesn't have any yet. So, on to the next. Not that complicated, is it? All right, Link. We have an entire thread for Link as it's a top 25 coin. If you're not paying attention to it, you're wasting your money. I just shared it in the chat. Link TA thread right there. Anything to do with Link, put it there. And then everybody else can do the same, and we'll have an entire thread dedicated to just Link. There's also one for every other top 25 coin. Why is there not 25 chats? Do you really want me to put an entire chat for USDT? Or for wrapped Ether, which is the same as Ethereum? Or for wrapped Bitcoin, which is the same as Bitcoin? Obviously not, right? So there's not exactly 25 threads. The top 25 doesn't consist of unique coins. So Link's trying to improve here. Sitting on the trend line, the big trend line, you see that? There's a big trend line right there. That's the big fib trend line, the big overall trend line, and it's sitting on top of that now. It looks like it wants to make a little short-term Adam and Eve here, which is down, up, down, and then retrace with more down after. That would lead us out toward the middle of September. Hey, guess what's in the middle of September? FOMC rates get dropped likely. Trump's sentencing is on the exact same day that the rates get released. Oh, it's going to be a wild September. I hope y'all are paying attention. Link needs to get a little bit better here. It's not quite there. All the indicators kind of say no right now. So for that reason, I have to say no. It's just not quite there. It's close. Not close enough. You're taking a chance on failing if you buy now because it's bouncing around on the very, very lowest point that it's allowed to bounce on. VRA. All right. So this one looks like death, and it's still falling. I have no reason to buy this one at all. It's made almost equal lows. That's about the only thing that I look at and say, okay. Other than that, the rest of it looks bad. I need to see vast improvement here, okay? Give me something to work with. It's a long way from the 50 moving average. It's a really long way from the 200. I understand you might want to take risks on that, but I don't know if I'd take a risk on this one if it were me. Adam. Very simple. Bang, 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 bang. It's done. You understand what I'm saying, folks? You don't have to have a full dissertation about this. You can look at it pretty quick. Adam, been miserable. It's trying to get over the 8 now, but again, it's stuck under everything. It's 100% to the 200 moving average. 100%. It will eventually get back up there, but it's going to take a while. So is it worth it to you to buy this one, or would you rather buy another one, right? This one looks like ass, but that may be a good thing on the weekly. It's almost oversold. Look at the MACD. It's just so far down. These are going to turn the corner, but that's a lower low. Look, it's made overall lows, dude. Woof. Just getting choked, man. Just getting choked. Makes you wonder if Adam's time is done. Coin. Some of these may not survive either. You know what I mean? We don't have any control over that. All right. Coinos has broken support, back tested it and turned it into resistance. I don't like this chart at all. Absolutely no. No, thank you. Vast improvement is needed for me to move the needle. Leo X. Equal lows, absolutely getting smashed by sell pressure. Same thing here. Big improvement needed. You got to prove it to me on this one. It looks terrible. Chain. All right. Chain games. Yeah, this is one Don's been watching. Big retracement today, but it's been pretty wicked. Throwing candles here. So it bounced the 50 fib. I don't like that. Same level it bounced before. As long as it holds 0025, it's okay. Anything below 0025 gives me the creeps because that means it could go too far. And there's also a lot of moving averages bunching up right here. So it may retrace back to 0025 and then maybe reassess from there. Or 025, whatever. Ordinals. I hate the influencers that push this one, dude. Man. They're not as insufferable as XRP people. I'll say that. They're not trying to be warrior princesses and act like they've got the greatest new breaking news. Man, fuck out of here, dude. It's so annoying. So, Ordinals still rolling over here. Nothing quite to write home about yet. It did a 382 retrace. That's not bad. See that? The 382 retrace here. That's cool if it holds. Let's reduce that. Put this over here. Draw a trend and see what we come up with. It's more of a parabola and more of a bit of a fallen wedge here. Let's flip this to linear. Yeah, it's a big fallen wedge. You can see that. I need to see a breakout of this fallen wedge. Once I get a breakout of the fallen wedge, then we can talk about it. It just hasn't happened yet. This is why I need a little bit more confirmation on, just like the other ones. It's not quite where I want to see it. A little bit more confirmation needed. Here's a couple that weren't requested, but I'm going to throw at you. Bundles bets, finally showing some life here. I'm basically break even on this one still. I staked it. I got a bunch staked. I haven't even messed with it. I've unstaked it. I'm sorry, but it's sitting in my wallet. It just recently broke the 50-day. 100 moving average is all the way up at 4.5, and the 200 is all the way up at $8, which is 200+% to the 200 moving average, which I do think it gets to 150% to the 200 moving average, which I do think it gets to. In fact, I think it'll at least get back to Sniper's Alley, which is 15 to 20, which is plenty of good money for me. A couple more. Other Velo. Here's Other Velo, Velodrome. I've been watching this very closely. It's battling back and forth with the 8 EMA. Look at the Bollinger Bands. They're getting very tight. Squeezing in. I'd love to see a crack north here. It needs to get over this big trend line. The trend line's a little subjective on this one. It's hard to draw. So I'm not positive I have it drawn right. I think I'm close. And of course, AVAX that I had up on the screen. It's had a rough couple months, but look, she's trying to move now. Breaking the midline of the Bollinger Band, fighting the 21 EMA at the moment. 50-day moving average is all the way up at 24.9. We'll see if it can break the 50. I mean, I got the feeling that it's going to fight that 50 for a little bit to get moving here. And there's a big fib line and resistance right here. So we'll see if it gets through it. But I think it's going to be stuck in the mud for a little bit. Just got to get up there. But at least it gets up there. I already did OXO at the beginning. You must have missed it. It looks like a Ponzi. It did break the trend line and it is in an uptrend. I got the whole thing recorded though, and I always post it afterwards in the live streams chat, which is hashtag live streams. Right there is where the recordings go afterwards. Let's see what else I've got. Algorand's been a decent mover lately. It's still trying. It's still under the trend and fighting it. Got some work to do, just like AVAX. I think it'll bump its head on the 50. Interesting that you asked about Tesla, because we talked about Tesla yesterday in the weekly roundup. But she's still under the trend line. I do like the little bit of a hook it's got here, but so far it's just a lower high. I like to see a higher high. Obviously, we get a higher high, we get a trend break. The other thing is, hey, look, it's fighting all the moving averages, but it's over them now. So it could take a breather and rest on top of them and still be okay. It would be a lower high, but it's over the moving averages, so it could still be okay. I think it just needs a little time to balance itself out here. And honestly, I kind of expect the market to wait on mid-September. So we may see a little bit more up and then come over here and sit in the pocket right here on top of the cloud. And then after that, we'll see if we get a move up off and over the trend line in mid-September. Mid-September is going to be the jump off point, in my opinion. By the way, Bitcoin's trying to flip back green on the daily. It's dragging everything around with it. Bitcoin dominance. Don't sleep on Bitcoin dominance. I know it looks bad right now, but sleep on her and watch what happens. She'll come back to bite you a lot of times. Bitcoin dominance bees like that. I think it may come down here and test this trend line and then break out for the end of the year. I'm not positive on that. We'll see. I'm unsure on how far this goes once it does start taking dominance back again, if it retraces and gives sums to alts short term. Okay. I'll be in the chat for the rest of the day. Obviously, tomorrow we'll go over my portfolio, which hasn't changed at all, but I'll still go over it. Thursday's our normal live stream plus Zoom after. You guys can come on the Zoom and ask me anything you want anytime. Don't tell me that I'm tired, I'm asleep. Bro, hello, have you seen me? I stay tired and asleep, and yet I'm still here. We make time for things that are important. I want y'all to remember that. What's important to you? And securing my financial future and my family's financial future for a lifetime is extremely important to me, and I'm willing to put in every single extra minute of time I got to make that thing happen. So ask yourself the same question. Are you willing to do the same thing? Are you willing to sacrifice your short-term health for long-term success? Because I am. That's what it takes, in my opinion, and I'm here to do it. So I'll see y'all guys in the chat. Recording goes in the live stream section after this. Y'all be good. See you on the next one. Peace.